Look, we all know how this works. We solve the puzzles or we die.
You've never done an escape room like this. Trapped in a twisted death game for rich people's entertainment, you'll be forced to put your intelligence, strength, and sanity to the test. With tricks in every room and the game masters watching your every move, what would you do? In this video, we're going over each room in Escape Room 2, see how we could beat, or cheat, the rooms so we wouldn't have to do them the way they intended, and ultimately help every character escape with their lives in Escape Room 2, Tournament of Champions. We open with Zoe finishing up a quick therapy session. She was one of the 2 survivors from the last movie and has got to have severe PTSD, paranoia, and trust issues from what she's experienced. She brushes off her therapist's advice and goes with Ben down to New York, where they think Minos' headquarters are. They get to this sketchy warehouse and crawl through some very open wiring to find this shady homeless guy. They let him get too close when he swipes Zoe's locket and runs off, leading them to a subway and trapping them in what looks to be a train car. Assume that this is all part of Minos' game. It's no coincidence that this guy stole her locket and timed it perfectly so they're trapped in a confined space like this. We need to start looking for ways to get out of here. Breaking off these bars and smashing out the windows would be worth a try. They quickly notice that there's no conductor and the train breaks off, moving all 6 of its passengers to some secret tunnel where the elite can force them to play some more death games for their amusement. It comes to an abrupt stop, and now the game has begun. It's quickly discovered that every single one of them has won a Minos escape room, making this some kind of...
So what is this? Like a tournament of champions?
Walmart Vin Diesel here goes ballistic, and we see that kicking down the doors just isn't an option. Then, the top of the train releases an array of Tesla coils, which electrify all the poles in the train. The group finds a suspicious-looking purse on the floor, containing a towel and a door handle. Brianna here unfurls a mat on the floor and finds a vent underneath. Din Diesel has had enough and tries to shove the handle in the conductor door, but gets electrified. He then has a stroke of genius and uses his belt, unlocking the door and revealing a subway token machine. The group sees a sign saying, "Pull all false advertising," surmising that each of the missing letters on the advertisements need to be pulled corresponding to their handles on the train. Time is running out, with the Tesla coils sending a full lightning storm onto the whole group. Unfortunately, before he can tell everybody about the last 3 letters, Din Diesel here gets struck with the overwhelming power of
our family
and gets taken out. They quickly shove all the final tokens in the machine, and before exiting, Zoe sees that the letters in the tokens spell out "Welcome back." Cheeky bastards. Now, what could our group have done to avoid Vin Diesel's death? Well, these Tesla coils put a hard time limit on us solving the puzzle, so being highly observant and taking in all the information the room gives us would be a good start. Handling everything with the provided non-conductive material would also be crucial to your survival. Taking off anything metal or conductive that you have on your person should also be a no-brainer. Sure, it might have sentimental value, but so does your life. Tesla coils up their power, you need to stay close to ground. That way, the electricity will go for whoever's standing higher because they're easier to get to. The remaining 5 get dropped through a vent directly into an elevator to be carted away for their next challenge, the bank vault. There are now 5 floors underground and are forced to go into the next room that awaits them, a bank of death. Brianna, not thinking, steps on one of the checkerboard tiles and triggers the bank's laser security system. Too bad Tom Cruise isn't here. Nathan and Rachel are able to maneuver her out of danger and the lasers deactivate. But now they've got a 10-minute timer before the lasers are on for good, and this becomes the Cube 2.0. Seeing a safety deposit box key embedded in a lollipop, they send Zoe to climb the counter around the rigged tiles, and she begins to test the deposit boxes. If you're in her shoes, testing every number may be the obvious strategy, but in this case, taking a step back and looking for differences in the labels is what will save you time. Because when only one box is named Sonia and the rest are numbers, odds are you should try the Sonia box first. Get the second key from the lollipops. Nathan gets in front of the ATM, and the voice on the speaker mentions collecting money from a dying loved one. Both pairs open security boxes with the name Sonia on them, with one of them having diamonds sharp enough to cut, and the other containing a stack of blank bills. They figure out that the game masters want blood on the bills, but when Rachel gets overzealous and leaps onto the counter, the lasers get activated and she almost gets sliced. Luckily for her, the system has light speed timing, because as soon as she falls off, the lasers shut down and she avoids getting chopped. The blood reveals a 4-digit pin on the money, which, when entered into the ATM, causes the clocks to spin out. Luckily, they've got people in every corner of the room, so they'll be able to access most areas without triggering the lasers. A receipt prints from the ATM, and it says this. Using the numbers on the minute hands of each of the 3 clocks, Nick charts the safe tiles with the lollipops and makes his way across. He triggers a tile, but instead of cutting him to a million pieces, a safe opens on the side with the 3-number code. The tile he stepped on now reads, The group is running out of time, and Nick gets impatient and says fuck it, before he just YOLOs it and makes it over 2 tiles off of pure chance. Now, instead of looking for clues, the group is freaking out over what he's doing. Makes it over a 3rd, going for a 4th, and gets sliced, then passes out. His body weighing down a tile and activating the system permanently. They do the right thing and drag him off, resetting the lasers. Remembering what his activating tile said, Brianna turns the unlocked vault, unscrewing a secret capsule containing the remaining spots they need to get to the end, starting from the activating tile. Zoe volunteers to stay behind and call out the tiles, and the entire group barely makes it out, including Zoe. Okay, personally, I would have left Nick back there because his impatience almost cost the group their lives. Had they been solving the riddle rather than talking him down, they wouldn't have had to cut it so close. I also see that the lampshades on some of the lamps are reflective. Depending on how powerful these lasers are, you could also try deflecting them away from yourself. Apart from this, you'd need quick thinking and strong communication with your group in order to beat this room. The tiles seem to require a certain amount of weight to activate. You could try spreading your feet on 2 tiles and hope that the weight isn't enough to activate. That way, you'd be able to feel which tiles are solid and which are not, rather than full on suiciding on them one by one like Nick did. Cursed beach time. The cave they're in starts to collapse in on them, and they climb out onto a room that looks like a beach. Rachel picks up a Polaroid camera and it goes off like a flashbang, the resulting photo telling them to drop an anchor. They look around and find a boat hidden under some debris, putting the pieces together to create a metal detector. They're able to dig the anchor out after finding it with a detector, but when they pull on it, the quicksand mechanism of this room gets triggered. But with quick thinking, Ben's able to grab onto the anchor while it pulls him deeper underground. Alright, this is a really cool science trick. If you're caught in the quicksand, you have to lay back in a backfloat position and backstroke your way out of there. However, unless you're Michael Phelps, you may not be able to outwit the evil version of Mark Rober's quicksand hot tub of death. The group tries to pull him out while Rachel just stands there and does nothing. Ironically, the sand gods decide she's the one they want, and despite the group's best efforts, it sucks her into the ground and she's gone. Nathan here decides to play Baywatch and takes the lifeguard buoy, diving after her into the sand like it's just water or something. Somehow, he manages to find her with no visibility and she's saved. Hooray! But the rope gives out and he drowns in sand. The last 4 rush into a beach house, flipping a random switch, which sets the room into party mode, unlocking a ladder on the lighthouse. Zoe runs off to climb up, while the rest of the group looks for clues in the beach house. When she gets to the top, she finds a telescope aimed directly at a little message in a bottle, which reads, "I don't see you." I guess these psycho rich people like dad jokes. Ben's able to figure it out from a mannequin which had seashells over its eyes, managing to grab a key and opening the fridge door. but Zoe's figured out a different way out. That doesn't look too official, but little do they know, it's all according to the Game Master's design. The group is split over which door to go through, with Brianna going through the fridge, Ben falling into quicksand, and Zoe and Rachel going through the secret ceiling exit. They needed to be unified as a group, as more heads thinking together means more chance for success. With both groups separated, they're at a severe disadvantage. Had Zoe not stood there and moved away before the quicksand swallowed her, Nathan would have survived. Had Nathan not tried to Baywatch save Rachel, he would have survived. Had Ben just moved on and kept climbing rather than call out to a person, which it was just too late for, he also would have survived. Through a series of empathetic and stupid decisions, nearly half the group was lost in just one room. What are your thoughts? Would you survive Escape Room 2? Let me know with a comment down below. Thanks for watching this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.